Hello and welcome back to Refle's anime reviews and discussions. I am Refle, and last time, if I uploaded these in the correct way, I think it shouldn't have been My Love Story, I think. If not, then that's probably like next time or something. But this time, we're going to be talking about another one of the shows from summer 2015. And this show is something. It is something. It is one of the most unique shows that I've ever watched. And it's called, I'm going to butcher his first name, Shimoneta, A Boring World Where the Concept of Dirty Jokes Doesn't Exist. But it's the name of the show. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe the show. Forewarning, some of the images I might show are going to be really just weird, especially if they're going to be out of context in a lot of ways. Because this show's really weird. It's probably one of the most like outrageous, ridiculous shows I've watched. Like, it's just weird. It's just so unusual. Like, it is unusual and weird. Just to kind of quickly sum up. I know I did like kind of the halfway point of what shows I was really liking for summer 2015. I did that video, and I think I had Raka number one still, and that ended up being number one. I had Charlotte in there, Gangsta, and I think I had Oshiro and Tora, and Actually I Am. Now that's my top five at the halfway point. But at that point, I had not watched Shimoneta yet, and I started watching I think like the next day, and it quickly rose the ranks. So to even like describe a show is pretty ridiculous. It's a show that it's set in like I want to say like it's a slight future, but it's not really. Japan where they really like Japan really gets into censoring stuff to protect their children and everything. So they go way overboard, and it's just outrageous and ridiculous. Like, it's never gonna happen. But they basically prevent and ban from anybody from using vulgar humor language, do any kind of dirty jokes, even think about dirty stuff, so like sexual stuff or just like bad stuff like swear words and stuff, and they prevent people from doing those bad stuff, so you can't do them for the most part. And you can't do, like, they censor everything, like, to a completely ridiculous point where, like, even, like, thinking a girl is attractive is, like, you'll get in trouble. Like, that's how ridiculous it gets. So, yeah, that's kind of just summing it up, but it's really focused on censorship, and I think the show really kind of is trying to make a message, like, you can't just over censor stuff, because then like people just won't understand. Like you need to have a balance of censorship, not something like, I don't even like, don't over censor stuff. I think that's basically what we're trying to say. But the show kind of follows primarily these two characters, Okuma Tanukichi and Kajo Ayame. And I'll just call them Okuma and Ayame. And Okuma is he's pretty much the main protagonist. He's I don't even like he's trying to get into this new school, or I guess he's heading towards this new school for the first time, and his father is like a notorious, I don't even know what the right term is. A notorious. I'm trying to figure the word. I can't. I'm blanking. Is a notorious, like, he's like notorious for trying to like spread all these dirty stuff and try to get people back into embracing this stuff. And he's in jail because of that. So Akuma is trying to like separate himself from that, and he just wants to be whole and not have to deal with any dirty stuff. He just wants to change to somebody who's perfectly clean like everybody else. And Ayame is the opposite. She wants to be somebody who's trying to like break the culture and re-embrace all this like weird dirtiness and vulgar language, and just basically just a whole bunch of just I think she throws around like nudes, because God, like just trying to describe a show is like gonna be really tough. You guys are think I'm insane, but her name, she's like a superhero. She's part of a group, or are we even a group by that point? I don't even know. But she's her like hero name or whatever is Blue Snow. Where she just basically wears panties on her head and like a towel or something with nothing underneath. And she goes around and just like tries to spread lewdness and other stuff by like in the first episode at least, she throws a whole bunch of like images of naked people, so people look at it and they're like, oh my gosh, because people like, at least for some people, like the students, they don't really understand this stuff. Like they don't know that some people have like dicks. If I'm serious. Like that's how ridiculous we get with like trying to keep their children safe from lewdness. But eventually these two kind of team up because they are both part of the student council, which is against all this lewdness or anything. And their student council president is Anna Nishikinomiya. Oh my god. Anna, aka, who's like the daughter of the people who kind of enacted all of this stuff. And she's super like, she's like the poster child of all of this, like, prevent your lewdness and everything. And later on, you'll see she's kind of like, she becomes one of my favorite characters for a certain reason. It happens later on, like I think like episode 4 or 5. She is the perfect example of why you shouldn't censor or anything. I'll just say that. But it's pretty freaking great between Anna and Okuma. They have some interesting interactions, to say the least. Yeah, the show basically is about Ayame and Okuma, who Ayame basically forces Okuma to join SOX, which is their group name, which, do they even have abbreviation? Like, I honestly don't know what SOX stands for. I probably don't want to know. Yeah, I don't know. Their group name is SOX, and they have other members who join them throughout, and they're just trying to spread and kind of break the status quo by, you know, doing a whole bunch of weird stuff. Like, episode 2, they do something really weird, and, like, with bugs. And it's this show, like, I can't say it enough. It's just really weird, and it's just over the top. Like, there's a lot of, like, it's funny, they censor a lot of her words, on purpose, I want to believe, because Ayame just goes off on these rants of like lewdness where she talks about like jerking off and just like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's really good. Like I don't know how to describe. Like it's just really good. It's trust me. Like it's unlike anything you'll probably have watched before. And as you know, it may sound like kind of creepy and like you know, there's like some like harems and stuff that get like really creepy and stuff. Like there's too much like, you know, just too much like, okay, that's kind of disturbing, like sexual stuff. This show was really, they like embrace it in a way that's not like weird, but it kind of is weird. But it's like it's not gonna bother you because it's weird. I don't know. Like you've probably seen some photos now, and I'm gonna try to keep this as. Finding images for this show is gonna be difficult to say the least. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. I might just show you guys like a little short clip just to understand the ridiculousness. But it's a good show. Yeah, but other people joined Socks, I want to point out, and in one episode they show you how to. Actually, I'm not gonna spoil that. It's kind of funny. It's just I don't know what else to say really. It's a ridiculous show. It's 12 episodes long. I thought the ending was a little bit kind of like weak. Because I think there's still gonna be more seasons of this because I think it did pretty well. But the ending I thought was kind of weak. And the story is like interesting because you get some villains and stuff that come in, and there's like these kind of like little storylines that go throughout the season that are like I find the story to be actually kind of like interesting and engaging, and then you got like I think what really drives it though is the characters in the show are like really good and unique, and just kind of like messed up in the head, but in a good way. Oh yeah, they can't like even say bad words, I should point out, but only Ayame has like a device that lets her say bad things. It's her cell phone, but she can only use it like for like a minute each day, which doesn't make any sense because she says it. She like goes off in tangents that are like 5 minutes long sometimes, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know how to stress this enough. It's really ridiculous, as you've probably like have been hearing me say. You don't know what's really going on, and I don't blame you because it's a confusing and weird show. But it's just really good and entertaining. It's entertaining to say the least. Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows in the last kind of few seasons actually, and I went from like not watching it at all to like kind of just being excited for it every single like this. Charlotte and Raka were the 3 shows that I was looking forward to each week, and like I couldn't wait until I could see more. And I can't really say that about kind of the rest of the shows I'll be reviewing. But these 3, like Shimoneta, I can't even say Shimoneta. It's my 3rd favorite show from summer 2015, and probably most seasons of anime. Like it probably would have been higher up, but I thought summer 2015 was a pretty good season. And I'd give it like a 8.5 out of 10 for season 1. Like it has a lot of good, like there's some weaknesses of course in a show like this, but overall it's just ridiculous. It's funny, like it can be really funny at times, and it's entertaining, and it's unlike anything you'll see. And I'm serious when I say that. Like I don't know if you kind of like only stuff like that is like serious and it's not too crazy, it probably isn't a show for you. But if you kind of like to see some weird stuff, like kind of different shows every so often, this is the show for you. Because I literally can't compare this to any other show I've watched because it's that unique. I mean, like I said, it's probably the most ridiculous show or anime I've watched. And I've watched like a few shows that are kind of out there, but this one probably takes the cake. But it's good. It's good. I would recommend it to most people, not everyone, I would say, but it's a unique show that you should definitely check out. But yeah. So that's another one down. I counted out my top 3 shows so far. I think at this point I think there's like 2 or 3 more shows I need to review, or that I want to review for summer 2015. But the fall season has just began. First week of shows have begun. And I'm going to say right now, it seems like it might be a weak season, in my opinion. But it's only week 1. And some shows haven't even begun yet. But just from what I've seen so far, not much stuff I think is going to compare to last 2 seasons. But that could definitely change. But anyways, I want to thank you for watching my reviews. Should definitely check out Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. And I will see you next time with whatever I review or discuss. Thanks for watching.